Hey guys, welcome in. Hope you're having a great day. I hope your trades are profitable, that your life is easy, and that everything is going the way that you hoped. Today, I'm going to talk about a lesson about copy trading and scaling and adding multiple accounts, how to do it, when to do it, which accounts to add, and one kind of surprise that probably nobody would expect that I honestly still don't expect myself. But the easiest way to build capital with prop trading futures is by adding accounts. You can take a lot less risk per trade, keep your accounts longer, and make a lot more money. So, disclaimer though, trade at your own risk. It's very important that you manage your risk, that you understand the risk involved with trading financial instruments. This is not tax, financial, nor legal advice. You are solely responsible for your decisions and outcomes. Plan to lose money at trading. It is called market tuition by many people for a reason. Please read the disclaimer. It's important. All right. So, trade copying is increasingly popular in futures, especially with prop firm accounts. And the reason for that is because there are a lot of constraints. One, you have so little drawdown on the accounts, and prop firms, they make money when you lose. I don't know if you know that or not, but they make a lot of money when you lose. And so they encourage you to develop behaviors that would blow these accounts, but then when it works against them, they don't like that. So what we're going to try to do here is build a system that will help you minimize risk, maximize profitability. The copy trade multiplier is the foundation of this entire strategy. I do use Panavyx for my trade copying. So I set my lead account, all my follower accounts, so forth and so on. For this example, just so that you're aware, the underlying fundamentals of the math here are a 50% win rate, so you only have to win 50% of your trades, and a 3-to-1 average risk to reward. So you get a $500 expected value per trade with that kind of risk management and that kind of profit taking. So if you have a system that you use that's a system-based entry that wins at least 50% of the time, and you average a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, you have a $500 expected value per trade. All right, your master account triggers every funded account simultaneously. So whether you trade it on TradingView, if you trade it on TopStepX, if you trade it in Tradevate, wherever you trade it, your lead account will cause all of your follower accounts to fire and execute the exact same trade. So you take a trade, say you go long on MNQ, you risk $500 with a 3-to-1 risk reward. That's your master account. The Panavyx copy engine automatically detects your entry and instantly broadcasts to all your linked accounts, and your linked accounts all fill somewhat simultaneously, usually pretty close. Sometimes there might be a little bit of slippage if there's a lot of volatility. So, kind of make sure that you're aware and that you're managing your risk appropriately. It is real time, so it's milliseconds that the broadcast is sent to all of your accounts. You get the same percentage of risk on every account that you're trading. Panavyx will alert you if any accounts do breach, and it just requires you to make one decision. So you're not managing a bunch of different trades. You're not managing a bunch of different accounts all at the same time. You don't have to worry about, am I going to be hedging, because you can't hedge if you have a master and your lead accounts are all in. And there's a hedge detection system if you do have multiple trade groups that will let you know, hey, you're hedging, beware. All right, so here's the math. 50% win rate, $500 risk per trade, 3-to-1 risk reward, $500 expected value per trade. So if you have one trade and you do this, or one account, and you do this, you have a $500 expected value per trade. Let's say you qualify for a payout on your account. With most accounts nowadays on a 50K account, you're gonna get $2,000 ish before the prop firm deducts their 10 or 20%, depending on which one you go with. With my funded futures flex plan, which is going to be the plan we're going to start with in this, it's $5,000 per account per request, and they keep 20%. So you net $4,000. So let's say you start with a my funded futures account. You get one payout. You take $4,000. All right. I take that $4,000, and now I'm going to start to pile that into some accounts. And you don't want it. This is not let me put a caveat here. This is not the kind of thing you want to do if you've never taken a payout, or if you're not somewhat consistently at least, taking payouts. If you're not taking at least a payout every month, this is not, you don't want to start doing this yet. You're going to want to wait till you get to the point where you can be consistent enough to where you're taking at least one payout a month. Then you can start adding in some additional accounts. Otherwise, you're just going to start blowing a lot more money a lot faster, and it will really enhance the FOMO that you have when you see a big trade happen. So you get that, you start with 10 accounts. You start with 1, then you go to 5, then you go to 10. Then you keep moving up. The way that it works, so if, say, you go from making You go from making $500 a trade with your expected value to now you're making $2,500 a trade at 5 accounts. At 10 accounts, your expected value is $5,000 per trade. 20 accounts, it's $10,000. At 30 accounts, it's $15,000. I personally trade copy 28 different accounts, and the math is very advantageous and works really, really well. Okay, copy trade advantages. Here's why it works if executed correctly. One, I just talked about it, income multiplication. One trade generates expected value across all your accounts. 2, perfect consistency. Every account takes the exact same entry, exit, and stop with no manual errors, no missed trades on individual accounts. So you're not going from Trade of 8 to Top Step X to TradingView to another Trade of 8 account to whatever. Everything is all the same, and it makes life a lot easier. No emotional drift. You're not manually trading an account on account 6 after a loss on account 5. So, or you don't have the ego going into a trade because you just won a huge trade on one account and now you think that you're invincible and you're going to take it to the next account and you blow the account. Time leverage. Managing 20 accounts takes the same time as managing one. That makes life a lot easier. You have uniform statistics. And like I said, you have Panovix breach monitoring, which will let you know, hey, these accounts are getting close. You might want to size down or scale down. One of the things that I do to help manage that is the account with the least drawdown for me is always my lead account. That way, if I'm managing the risk for that account, I'm managing the risk for all my accounts. There are some real risks that you need to understand if you're going to do this. One, a correlated breach risk. One bad trade hits all your accounts exactly the same. Your drawdown is multiplied, so just like your wins are multiplied, your drawdown is multiplied. You're going to want to make sure that you're managing risk, because if you're not, it's not going to work. It's another reason why I want people to slowly scale into scaling accounts, because if you go from trading one account to trading 20 accounts, you're going to start doing the math in your head right away, and it is going to mess with you. So max you should go with when you're starting out. After 1, the max you should go with is 5. I would recommend 2, because you're already doubling your income and your risk at that point, and then slowly go from there. But firm terms do vary. Some prop firms do not like trade copiers, and they have policies against group trading or coordinated accounts. So please check the prop firm's rules that you're using to make sure that everything is copacetic. Consistency rule violations. So if you have an account with a consistency rule and some of your other accounts don't have consistency rules, the one with the consistency rule for me would be the lead account, especially if it has the least amount of drawdown, because if I'm managing that account, I'm managing all the rest of them. Next, technical failure risk. Man, things happen. AWS goes down. Your internet might go down. Things happen. There is technical failure risk. You're going to want to make sure that you do what you can to manage the risk on your trade by setting automatic stop losses and whatnot, because things happen. Sometimes, follower accounts it gets disconnected because of a hiccup in the internet. It happens. With Panovix, it will run a check every 30 seconds just to make sure that all the followers are following the lead account. But other trade copiers may not work that way. So just understand that there is the possibility of technical failure risk that can blow your accounts. Even if you didn't do anything wrong, it can still happen. Overconcentration with all the accounts in the same trade. There's zero diversification. So a macro event, news spike, or spread widening hits everything all at once. So, if you get a Trump tweet or something like that and it goes against you, every account is going to catch that one. All right, so your first account, I recommend the My Funded Futures Flex 50K, because it's a 50K account. It has a $3,000 profit target. It is an 80-20 split on the payouts, but the max payout is $5,000. So you don't have a daily loss limit. You don't have to worry about that. You do have end-of-day drawdown, so you don't have intraday trailing, which is something I would never use personally. I like to let my trades breathe, especially since I trade the first 30 minutes of the day most of the time. That would not work out well for me with intraday trailing drawdown. There is no consistency rule, and they do allow trade copying. Identical trades are okay. You can use the 5K payout to fund 3 new evals. Obviously, use code Jimmy. Each payout cycle adds more accounts to your stack. So the fact that the max payout is $5,000, your net is $4,000 per account. That makes it number one. That's the one you should use first, and works out really, really well. The account snowball. So copy trading income funds new evals, more accounts, you get a bigger multiplier. So you start with 1, and phase 1, you're still at 1. Phase 2, maybe you go to 3. Oh, I did it again. Phase 2, you go to 3. Phase 3, you go to 6, so on and so forth, until you scale up. Please scale at the speed with which you are comfortable. Do not try to push it in a way that will cause you to trade from a place of fear, because you will not be successful if you do that. But as you begin to scale these accounts, your expected value per trade, copy trading on all accounts, also goes up. You start with $500 expected value per trade. By phase 3, you're at $3,000 expected value per trade. Phase 5, you're at $10,000, and phase 6, you're at $15,000. So, excuse me, you can make a lot more money by copy trading accounts. All right, so here are the firms at a glance, and there is one surprise on here, and it's at the very bottom. I do have affiliate codes for most of these. I'll be quite honest, and that's because I only get affiliate codes for firms I believe in. So My Funded Futures, Top Step, Alpha Futures, Lucid Trading, Tradeify, E8 Futures, Traders Launch, and very last, as a surprise, is Apex. And we'll talk about Apex here a little bit more specifically. But these are the firms, if you want to really get to 50 accounts, these are the accounts that you're going to probably use to get there. My Funded Futures, profit target for, everybody knows the profit targets for all these evals and combines and whatnot. But the 80-20 split, to me, is not a problem. You're still netting $4,000 per request. After your 5th payout, you will get moved to live. The My Funded Futures live program is fantastic. You can take daily payouts. They're a fantastic team. They're great to work with, so no worries there. Next is Top Step. Top Step, they're the very first firm in the prop trading space. They're a fantastic firm. They have gone through a lot of changes in the last 7 months. Obviously, I don't have an affiliate code with them, but they are copy trade friendly. They do have a built-in trade copier with Top Step X. If you like Top Step X, you can use it as your lead account and have all of your other accounts follow that, however you want to do it. But they do have a 90-10 profit split. You get your first $10,000, you get 100% of. After that, it's 90-10. But they have probably the most robust live program out of the prop firms. They have scaled it back quite a bit, but you still get the most starting capital of just about any other prop firm, at least that I'm aware of. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to correct myself. But Top Step, their live program is not terrible at all. You still have to go through the 5 winning days to get a payout up until you get 30 winning days. But if you don't want to move to live, you can opt out. After you take your 5th payout, or if their risk team decides to move you can opt out. Don't exactly know what that process is, but I heard it's an option. Alpha Futures. I personally like the Alpha Advanced accounts because you can trade news. They have a higher max payout per request. You can request every 5 winning days. They are a little more expensive, but they're a fantastic company. You can have up to 3 accounts of the advanced accounts. With the premium accounts, you can have 5. With the advanced accounts that I use, you can have 3. So that's what I go with. I really like those guys a lot. They've been a part of my stack for a long time now. So fantastic team. They $15,000 per account per request. You just can't beat that. Obviously, everybody knows about Lucid Trading. I use the Lucid Flex accounts because they have no daily loss limit. They don't have any consistency. You're going to hear this theme over and over again. I don't do consistency because it doesn't fit the way that I trade. I may have 2 or 3 kind of small winning days in a row and then one really big day. I don't want to have to limit that because of a stupid consistency rule. So, Lucid, the Flex accounts, no consistency. Big fan. I like them a lot. You can have up to 5 of those. When Lucid moves you, after you get 5 payouts, they will move you to live. They're not super fast about setting up the live accounts, but you will eventually get it. And their payouts are about the fastest in the industry. I mean, they really changed the industry with their payout speed. So, My Funded Futures, instant payouts. Lucid Trading, instant payouts. Now Top Step has instant payouts. And that's all thanks to Lucid and the work that they did on that part. Tradeify, the select account is the one that I use personally because there is no consistency. You can use the growth account. You can have up to 5 of these, and these guys are fantastic. Really good customer service. They really changed the game. So they were the first of the new prop firms that came out a few years ago. At the time you had Top Step, Apex, and My Funded Futures. Tradeify came out, changed the game quite a bit. Lucid copied a lot of what these guys do to make their program so robust. So, Tradeify is a really good company. They get slept on a little bit. I think they're underrated, honestly, in the industry, and you should check them out. E8 Futures is another one that I'm using now. So you can have up to 5 accounts with E8 Futures. E8 never moves you to live. You always stay in sim funded. So you can take great payouts with these guys. Their payouts are fairly quick. They're a great firm. Their customer service is really good. They started off in the CFD space, but I think they're kind of slept on. I don't think a lot of people really know about E8 Futures. You go to e8markets.com, you can buy an account. You can use code Jimmy for max discount. I think they have 20% off right now, as a matter of fact. So, check out E8 Futures. You can have up to 5 accounts with them. No consistency. Super great company. I've talked to their team. I've talked to some of their executives. I'm really, really impressed with their behind the scenes. Otherwise, I wouldn't use them and I wouldn't be talking about them. But big fan. I really like what they're doing. I like the program that they've put together. And I think really if you're going to scale accounts and you want to get the most out of it, E8 is one you're going to want to add to your stack. You do have a little bit higher of a profit target when you do your eval with E8, but the payouts are pretty good. So the payouts are a little bit more than most, and it's a 90-10 profit split with E8, I believe. So check them out. Traders Launch is one that gets slept on. This one is good to have in the stack, but yeah, it's kind of hard with the copy trading because there's no access to Volumetrica for Panovix. But if you have another browser window open, you can trade it easily. Now, here's why I like Traders Launch. Daily payouts with no payout cap. You say you get past your eval, and now you get your $1,000 buffer in there. All right, you make whatever you want the next day, and you can take it all out, and you keep 80% of it. So say you get your buffer in there, you make $10,000. You're like, all right, I'm taking out my 10 grand. You get 8 of it, and you can do it again the next day. You can do it the next day. The more you do that, you're only going to leave that $1,000 buffer behind. So be careful. But they're one that I would strongly consider adding, especially if you're in a place where you're really trying to just get some regular drumbeat income. This is the kind of thing that will train you to take your wins and call it a day rather than keep trying to press for insane numbers. Apex is the one that I potentially adding to my stack. Now, I have some hesitation with Apex. Obviously, they've been around for a long time. They've gone through some changes recently. So they've changed from intraday drawdown to end-of-day drawdown. The fact you can have 20 accounts with them, to me, is very attractive, so I'm very strongly considering it. I do not have a code with them, so, it is whatever. I'm just voicing my opinion. I'm very curious, but I think if you're going to get to 50 accounts at some point, you're going to at least have to have some Apex Trader funding accounts mixed in there. I'm not a huge fan of their current live program feedback that I've been seeing, but you know, who knows what the real truth is. I'm still kind of hands off with them. I want to see some more, but I'm very likely going to be at least adding in 5 Apex Trader funding accounts here in the next little bit, just to get my feet wet and see how it goes. And I don't know. I'll let you know. I guess I'll fill you guys in and see how it goes. But I would add them in this order: My Funded Futures Flex first, Top Step second, Tradeify Select third, Lucid Flex fourth, Alpha Futures Advanced would be fifth, and only because they're more expensive, and you can only have 3 accounts. E8 Futures, you can have 5 accounts. Traders Launch, they're ultimately kind of last for me because I can't copy them with my copier. And then potentially Apex. So that's the order I would personally add them in. I have accounts at the first 7. I do not have account with Apex. Copy trade rules. You will have to have these, and they need to be non-negotiable if you're going to do this. If you can't live by any set of rules and you can't exercise discipline, don't do this. Just don't, because you're going to blow all your accounts, and that's going to suck. Max 1% risk per account, period. That's the max. And the reason that I say 1% is if you have a 50% win rate, and it's a system-based, rules-based entry system, okay? You have very specific rules that you look for, it has to check down the list, all that kind of stuff. The chances of losing 4 trades in a row with a 50% win rate on a rules-based entry system is only 6%. You have a 94% chance of success. However, for most of you, I would say to size about half of that. So risk $250 per trade. Yes, your expected value per trade is only going to be $250 versus the $500 I used in the demo early on, but it's going to save your accounts because some people don't know when to stop. 2, end of day drawdown is sacred. If any account is near its max drawdown, stop all copies for the day. Panavix alerts will help you catch this, but set a daily loss limit. It's very important. If you lose $1,000 in a day on a 50K account, you need to call it a day. Be done. Walk away, step away, be done. Come back fresh the next day and try again. Use friendly account types. Like I said earlier, not every firm is cool with trade copying, so make sure you read the rules. Verify every firm's terms. 5, withdraw consistently. When you withdraw your money, only reinvest half of it into trade copying and save the other half. Use that for things that you actually want to do, things for your family. Buy a boat. Do something fun other than just putting it back into funded accounts. Because at that point, you're just a professional gambler, and who wants to do that? I mean, I guess some people. I don't. 1 trade equals 1 risk unit. Never add to a losing position. If you add to losing positions and you're trade copying, you're going to add it to all of your accounts. And if it goes against you, it goes against all of your accounts. You don't want to find yourself in that position. Managing risk is going to be the most important thing you can do through any of this. So 1 trade, every account, maximum income. That's the way to do it. It's super simple. It's as complicated as you want to make it. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you learned something today. Please feel free to like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Also, feel free to check out my Discord or anything on my Linktree. Be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. I hope you have